Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone. Recently caught up with Jeremy Donson, the Texas Snowman. Haven't had him on my channel in a little while, and we just sat down, had a nice talk, talked about the National, which was the last time we met in person. The recent Dallas show, a couple of our most recent purchases, and some other random topics. Hope you all enjoy. Hey everybody, what's up, Jeremy?
What up?
How's it going? Having
Going good, brother.
Yeah, it's time for a catch up here. We haven't
Yeah, man. It's
yeah,
been a minute. We've been busy.
been very busy. Yeah. So I saw you at the National, of course, for well, the whole time you were there. I guess not the whole time you were there. I got there a day late for you.
I got there half a day late too and left a day later.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Oh, that's right. I have not told that. Well, I teased that story on the channel, but I actually have not told it, and I have not shared your video that you sent me that day. So you
Oh yeah.
set that up for the drive, the flight home.
You got there Thursday.
I got there Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday morning. So we hung out Thursday, had a lot of fun, met several people, did some interviews.
Yeah.
With some people and meetings with some people, and then Friday.
Friday was the fun one.
Yeah, I was going to. We'll back up and tell the story of some deals that we did, but Friday I was supposed to leave at what 8 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and we kept going around in circles because we were talking about cards. Chris was driving, and we were talking about cards, and it's like, oh crap, I missed my turn. Okay, so we do this massive circle around the airport, and then we talk some more. Shoot, I missed that turn too. I'm like, give me the directions, I'm naving, and then I forgot a turn. I'm like, no more talking. We got to just get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was so fun, talking about cards. We just didn't care where we were
Oh
driving.
man, we were at the National. We just bought a whole bunch of cards. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we're just mindlessly driving. It was funny.
Yeah,
Maybe even probably should have been dizzy. We're doing so many circles.
that's right.
But I looked at my phone. I just kept noticing it's getting later and later and later. So we just hung out in the cell phone parking lot and talked for, I don't know, an hour probably.
Yeah, you mean the flight was getting delayed more and more and more?
The flight was getting delayed more and more. Yeah.
Like 8:20, 8:30, 8:50. Yeah.
Yep. And I think by the time we finally got there, it was good that it was delayed because we were late. I probably would have been fine anyway, but I think it was like 9 by the time I got there. By the time I got to my gate, it was 9:30. Then they switched gates once or twice, and then by 10:30 it was canceled. So there's a fun video I shared with you. What up, Texas Snowman here, stuck at the Chicago airport. Just left the National about 4 o'clock today on Friday, and my flight was supposed to leave at 8 o'clock. I get here and there's lightning storm, so it was delayed. Chris actually took me to the airport, kind of. But anyways, so storming really bad. There's not a lot of hotels available because everybody's at the National, and probably 1,000 people left the airport because nobody could fly. So the nearest hotel's a few miles away, several miles away. So I decided to man through at the airport. That's right. So my flight leaves at 5 p.m. the next day. So it's about an 18-hour wait. So yeah, maybe I'll just look at cards. I don't know, man. It's going to be a long one. But fun fact, on the way here from Dallas to Chicago, my flight path was as follows. So I left Dallas. It was a 2.5-hour direct flight. And about 5 hours into this flight, I text my friend. I'm like, hey, I'll be there at X and X time. He's like, I only fly direct. I thought you would too. I was like, this is a direct flight, kind of. So lightning storms messed everything up. So we leave Dallas, head to Chicago, bunch of circles, reroute us to Indianapolis briefly, because then they figured, oh, well, the lightning's bad there too. So let's send them to St. Louis. So down to St. Louis, refuel, getting ready to leave, lightning strikes, stuck there for a couple of hours, and they wouldn't let us off the plane until right before we were taking off. So we get off the plane, charge my phone for about 5 minutes, and then back to the plane. We finally take off, and the storm was moving and it was bad, so we had to go to Kansas City and then Chicago. So the flight pattern was Dallas, Chicago, circles, Indianapolis kind of, St. Louis, wait, Kansas City, Chicago. You can't make this up, man. dude. So, it's like you can see in the video, man. I was like dead tired, man. I was just totally gone. So my wife and I had like, I was asking people at the airport, hey, do you guys have like rollaway beds? Or they're like, yeah, we totally used to, but not anymore. I'm like, bummer. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she was looking up, if they had like rest rooms to rest, and they didn't. I walked around, asked a couple of employees there, and found this couch. Well, the couch wasn't where air flights are. The couch was where they do announcements for moving gates around and moving flights around and lost and found, all that kind of stuff. So I was laying on this couch, couldn't really sleep, so I was just watching Netflix on my phone and or on my laptop. And I finally went to sleep. Probably got a broken hour of sleep, and then I wake up to constant announcements about every 20 to 30 seconds, like
About the flight.
and loud, because I was right by the speaker, man. So there was no sleeping, dude. So I was there a total of 23 and a half hours. 23 and a half hours, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So I'll add some stuff. So I drop you off. I finally drop you off, I don't know, 9 o'clock or so. And that
Mhm.
maybe not that late, but that day we were beat,
Yeah.
beat tired. And I went right home and crashed. And so at some point you texted me, "Hey, like, can I come stay in your room?" But I was long asleep. And then I think you said you looked for hotels, but the whole airport was canceled. Like all flights were canceled out of Chicago, so there were no hotels anywhere. So
No,
you couldn't
there
even
were
gotten.
hotels like not close. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was like a few miles away, but a few miles away with the mass exodus, dude, that would have been chaotic getting the ride, all that. It was just too far away to make sense. I didn't really want to do it, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So I just decided to stay. I mean, I could have, but I just didn't want to go through all that. You know what I mean?
yeah. So meanwhile, I'm like sleeping nicely in my comfortable hotel bed, and then I wake up Saturday morning. I see all your text and a little bit later your video, and yeah, we connect on the phone, and we actually considered you coming back to the show because your flight
Yeah.
was delayed to like what 5 p.m. that night,
That night, yeah, that afternoon, 5 p.m. So I considered it.
but you were too tired, right?
Well, I just said I would be just The Walking Dead if I went. So,
Yeah,
I decided not to because I'd be borderline worthless.
yeah,
My brain I was just so physically and mentally drained. Not only that, but when you talk to hundreds of people, it's fun, but it's draining. You know what I mean? Like you're mentally tired because you've engaged in hours of conversation pretty much nonstop.
yeah.
So I was just not mentally just I needed rest time. You know what I mean? And I just
Yeah.
couldn't. There's no way.
And
So
and we've talked about this. I'm actually more extreme with that than you. Like
yeah.
I'm an introvert, which doesn't mean I'm shy. It means that the more I'm around people, I get my energy gets drained, and so
Hmm.
I need. There's a point where I need to be alone for
Hmm.
extended stretch, which is funny because that actually happened at the end of the day, Friday. As we're, do you remember we were leaving the show and we were like, we're
Yep.
done, we're going to the airport now, and I literally turned to you and say, man, I'm like my brain is drained. I can't talk to another person, and right when that happens, what happens?
Yeah. So you were in mid sentence. You were like, "Man, I feel like I hit a brick." Hey, Chris Snowman. you,
Yeah,
you didn't even get wall out,
I know. Yeah,
but and our feet were killing us, man, because there's no carpet. You know what I mean? Like a
yeah,
couple of booths, some booths have like fluffy stuff you can step on, but there's no carpet, man. So you're walking around on concrete for hours on end. But yeah, so you said that, and then this gentleman walks up and he starts talking to us. He's like, "Hey man, love the channel," and he's just kind of referencing different things that he's heard or saw on the video that he liked on the videos. And then he starts talking about why he's there, and he's like, "Yeah, I came to sell some cards," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, right on. What you selling?" And he rifles off all these awesome cards,
he's
like
like listing like 5-figure cards and
yeah, like 86 Fleer set. That's just awesome. I think the Jordan was a 9 PSA 9.
yeah,
you know, uh, Topps Chrome, LeBron 10, Beckett, just all this nice stuff, Jackie Robinson 56 8, PSA 8, just great cards. But anyway, so we start talking. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'd definitely be open to selling it all to you guys. Save me the time. What can you pay?" So we started talking about it, and like you said, we were both like dead to the world, man. Our last ounce of energy poured into him, and we're like, man, dude, yeah, we're so glad we met you, and we're really excited to follow up with you. So we exchanged numbers, he and I, and then since I was stuck at the airport for a day, I just talked to him for like 2.5 hours on the phone, and we walked through the deal together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had the time, so I was like, "Hey, let's just hop on a call." So we talked for like a couple of hours
Yeah.
and worked out some details. He sent a spreadsheet and everything. He had priced the stuff, and we several of the prices were fine. A few we adjusted, to current market, and came up with the number and paid him. So he he ended up shipping the cards, and then I paid him no fees. But yeah, it was a good deal, man.
Yeah.
Really fun guy too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really nice stuff. Yeah. It was just funny that was like as we were walking out, and I'm like done, but
Yeah.
wait, get not done yet. Wait, this is a cool guy with some great stuff.
Right. Yes. Yes. It
Yeah.
was super cool, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, you just went to the Dallas show, right? And it sounds like you had a pretty good show.
I did. Yeah, I had a really good show, man.
Here's some stories.
Yeah. So one of my other partners that I partner with him outside the show also, and I could do the show with him is Bill Hughes. And you guys may have heard of Bill Hughes. Helped start PSA, legend in the hobby. I mean, just an incredible guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he was actually gone. He had to be out of town for a wedding, so I was there, and we had a regular from the channel that had flew in from Utah, and he flew in, for the show and other reasons. But he said partially it's because he saw the video where we were talking about my Cy Young, right? The
Yeah.
PSA 6.
Okay.
And I had recently decided, I was like, I'm ready to let it go. I've had it for many years now, and I love this card, but I'm ready to let it go. And so I brought it to the show. Well, anyway, so he didn't come just for me, but that was in the back of his brain when he came. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so he comes and I meet him, and he probably hung out. He's like, first thing he said, "Snowman." I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Yeah, I watch the show all the time.
Yeah.
Chris knows me because I always comment and stuff."
Yeah. He's
Uh,
one of like the best commenters on my channel.
awesome. Yeah, he's one of the most
Yeah.
popular,
He's
biggest
always
commenters,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So he's like, "I just want you to know, Snowman, I am in no hurry. I will be here as long as it takes. I'm leaving with that card." I was like, sweet, okay, cool, right on,
Okay.
let's do it.
Yeah.
So I had him come on the other side of the booth, and at a show, there was several times I had to, take care of customers that were coming up. But we talked, and he had some really nice trade bait, and we were just looking at comps and everything. But anyway, so we come to an agreement, and this is the card, and that is the trade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, and I got to do the two cards was a 56 Robinson PSA 7, and I believe it was the Bowman's Best Peyton Manning rookie autograph PSA 10, and then cash, right?
You got those two cards in the trade back for the young.
I got those two cards in the trade. Yep, and then cash. So let me show you this picture. So this was the young, and it's a picture of a picture, so it may not be the clearest. But this young, and non-biasly, but this young is dead nut centered. It's got no print blemishes, front or back, no print dots, no issues. It's a beautiful card. It's actually an old PSA label. What is that? Probably early 2000s, that serial number.
I don't know, but yeah, that's an older label for sure.
Probably early 2000s, I would guess, without looking it up. But anyway, so I had never done an NBA submission for the Gold Diamond,
Which
and I
many people probably don't know what that is. So explain that a bit.
so it's Mike Baker. He
Yeah.
was a top grader with PSA. And then he branched off and started his own company, similar to Steve Hart with BBCE, right? And so he started his own company where, you know how like PWCC, for example, will label things E or A, top 30%, top 5%, all
Yeah,
that.
I appeal for the grade.
I appeal for the grade. So he does the same thing, and he has gold diamond, silver diamond. And if it's one of the best examples of that grade for that card, then it gets the NBA gold diamond, and it adds some value to the card, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I was getting a lot of comments that, hey, this is an old PSA 6 label. I got to pay you a five price,
Right,
and
'cause most cards in older labels are overgraded.
absolutely, absolutely. So I told him, I was like, man, I respect what you're saying, and I've said the same things in the past because it would be like an 8, and there's clearly a visible, noticeable, decent sized ding on the corner. It's not an 8, you know.
Right.
So you can't pay an 8 for that. But other cards are accurate back then. I would say overall, it's more common that they're overgraded back then for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
compared to nowadays, especially. But
Right.
rightfully so. They had a good point that it's
Reason
an
to
old
question the
label
six. Yeah.
to question the 6, right? Exactly. So I thought about it, and I decided. I was at the national, and I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna send it in. I'm confident it's gonna get a gold diamond. The corners are nice. They're not perfect. If they were, it'd be a 7, you know, or higher, you know.
Hmm.
But they were nice corners. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to send it in. I'm pretty confident this thing's going to get a gold. I've never seen a nicer Cy Young, other than, you know, stupid, ridiculous grade or something,
Right.
right? So sent it in. Sure enough, got the gold diamond. So the only reason I got that gold diamond was because it was in an old holder, and I didn't really want to send it off again. So I was just like, you know what? I'm here. I'll just get the gold diamond, and then it takes away the old label
Yeah.
conversation, right?
Nice.
So did and worked, and I didn't hear that comment anymore. But like I said, the people that said it had a valid
No,
argument.
I mean, yeah, that would be my first thought if I'm buying a T206 PSA 6 high grade, from with a 20-year-old PSA label. My first thought would be, is it a 6 by today's standards?
Right, right, yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a great trade. Oh, and the fun part is we negotiated in visitation rights.
What does that mean?
That
Oh,
means
he
like
gets to visit your house.
Cy Young comes over sometimes.
Oh,
Maybe for sleepover. If he goes when he goes to the national, he's got to come with. So visitation rights were
I see.
negotiated.
I see.
So whenever whenever he comes back to the Dallas Card Show or nationals or whatever,
Yeah,
Cy Young has to come for visitation.
I see.
And so we agreed, and it was just a fun conversation. Like visitation rights, man. Remember, it's like my kid. I'm glad it's going to a good home. You know.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was so cool, man. It was. We both had a really good time. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then there was a second bigger trade. I sold a Jordan Alvarez orange Bowman Chrome rookie auto.
Oh, you've had that for a while.
I've had that for a while. Yeah, I have.
You're in that really, really cheap, right?
I didn't actually get. I actually didn't buy into it very cheap.
Oh, I
Um,
thought you bought it before he blew up, no? Or maybe
I
as he
bought
was.
it when he first started to blow up.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and the only, huh?
so it's gone up and down since then.
It's gone up and down since then. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I sold it for less than what it was at the height of the
sure.
card.
Yeah,
But so it's like you've said in your videos before, what you're in the card's irrelevant. Do you want to liquidate the card or not?
yeah,
So I probably overall like maybe lost a few $100. But I was nervous that he gets hurt so much.
yeah.
What I'm saying, because he gets hurt a lot, and he's a great player. I mean, I have no doubt every time he gets out there, he's going to perform well. But It just was a card that I'd had for a while. I prospected him, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let it go. I have like 4 other Jordans anyway, so I was like, I'll sell this one. I still got the other 4.
Yeah. Okay.
But let me see if I got a picture of that. I believe I did. I don't see the picture, but what I did. So the negotiation was the Jordan for cash, and we were deciding on the amount that it was going to be, and I was like, tell you what, let's flip a card. And he's like, flip a card? And I'm like, yeah, your card. And he's like, oh man, I can't do that, because he had like nice cards with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like, yeah, no, I can't do that. I was like, all right. So there was a bunch of people at the booth. Like, anybody have a quarter or a coin? And this
Yeah.
guy's like,
Or a
yeah, I've
common
got
card.
a, huh?
Or a common card. Yeah.
Or a common card, yeah. So this guy says, yeah, I've got dollar coin, and so he gives it to me, and I'm like, great, thanks, I'll bring it right back. So we flip the coin, and the coin goes like underneath the table and like underneath the dolly, so it had to dig it out, and I was like, okay, let's reflip. So I flip again. Well, he wins the coin flip.
Okay.
But part of the negotiation was 2 Coronas with lime too.
Okay.
So the trade was for cash and 2 Coronas, and he won the coin flip. But
Well,
it
the
was
coin
fun,
flip, the coin flip tweaked the deal. How? Like, what was
Well, it tweaked the deal because I didn't really want the price that he was gonna
okay?
pay. And he really might not have come up to the price that I wanted. We were only like $200 apart. We were
You were
not
really
like
close, but you were both done.
we were very close, but we had both really kind of exhausted how far we were okay going.
Yeah.
But the second I said, let's just flip a card, or flip, once he got over the shock of flipping one of his expensive cards, flipping a
Yeah.
coin, he's like, oh yeah, dude, let's do it. Like instant, like the
Oh,
money didn't
nice.
matter. It's fun. Let's do it. So flipped it, and he won. So I paid him. He paid me his price. So
Okay.
yeah.
So it was a $200 coin flip.
Yeah, 1 or 200 bucks. Yeah, one or
Okay.
two. It wasn't much. Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun, and it's just so funny because like neither one of us really wanted the other person's number. But it was reasonable both ways. But when the coin flip came into the picture, it's like, oh yeah, let's do
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
it. Yeah. It was fun, man. And I thought I had a picture somewhere, but I guess not.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, so that was pretty cool too. But no, it was a great show, man. We had a blast. It was super fun. Super. Oh, I do have a picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the
That's the one
Coronas,
I remember you having. Yeah.
and then there's that, and there's the Coronas.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all fun, man. The show, the national. Oh, dude, you got to talk about a certain someone who was like, Chris, you got to get a video of this
I don't know what you're referring to.
at the national when we walked by it, and I was like, dude, you have to get like a video of this.
Oh, you mean of the you're talking about the 86 Fleer?
I am.
Oh, well, you should tell that one. I have that one was cool, but I have one I'll tell, but you tell that one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, was it Goldin? I think it was
I think it
Goldin.
was Goldin. Yeah.
Yeah. So Goldin had this awesome display. It was like, just two tall side panels, and then one that went across, and it
Yeah.
was like
A
glass
bridge.
over.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like a bridge. You could walk under it.
Like a bridge. You could walk under it. I mean, I don't know, maybe 9 feet tall, something
Yeah.
like that. Like, I mean, I couldn't even reach the top, and I'm 6'1". So, anyways, so it was this huge thing, and it was black background, and it had glass, and inside it was a PSA 10 86 Fleer set, and I think it was yeah, it was just an alphabetical order.
Yeah. Well,
But
numerically, the cards are in alphabetical order. So it's in numerical and alphabetical. Yeah.
right. So, but it was just so sick to look at this thing, dude. Like, it was so cool. I was like, we were just walking nonchalant, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is the whole set PSA 10. How cool is that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, you gotta get a video of this. And just in the chaos of the national, I guess you didn't have time or forgot to
Yeah.
get it.
No, we meant to. And so since they're like alphabetical, like Danny Ainge is down by the floor, and then they go up the side panel, and then it cuts across, and then comes down, and then Dominique Wilkins is in the bottom, so it's alphabetical like that. And so it's fun to try to find Jordan, who is sort of basically in the middle up at the top.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That was so cool, dude.
What
Yeah.
do you think that set's worth today? The Jordan, because
Oh gosh. Um, there's a couple of really tough tens that I don't know what they're worth, but I mean,
Johnny Moore, Jeff Malone.
yeah, I mean, if I was throwing a number, I'd say somewhere in the vicinity of 500,000.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because the Jordan's like two, and I think
I haven't looked in a while, but last I looked, it was a little south, like 170, 80. But I haven't looked in a while, so it might be up to two. I don't know. It was around 170 or 80 or so.
yeah, I feel like the Jordan's generally about half the value of the set. So I don't know if
So it's
that.
probably closer to maybe four.
Yeah, but I don't know if that applies with because of the Johnny Moore and the Jeff Malones of the world. The display I remember seeing that I didn't take a picture of was at PSA. They had the complete 97 Fleer Metal PMG set, all
Oh,
graded.
that's right. That
The
was.
basketball. It was all
Oh,
graded. I saw it on the last day on Sunday, and they were taking it down as I was. That's why I didn't film it, because there was like a guy who had, I don't know, it was on a wall display, and they had some special utensil to unattach it from the wall, which I had never seen before. And then while he was doing this, they had three security guards standing in front
mm,
of him, and so you
mm,
couldn't even really see it.
right.
But
Yeah, how sick is that, dude?
yeah,
A
that was pretty.
precious metals set.
That was pretty crazy. Yeah,
Oh man, it
yeah.
just incredible. And there was like what, five, six? Was there five, six rooms at the National this time? There was so many, dude.
I
So
mean,
many.
you did. I don't think you even saw them all because
Well, I
yeah.
saw the other ones before you got
Oh,
there.
you did. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it was almost like too much. Like I got lost. I would get lost and I couldn't figure out how to get back.
Well, so we knew my one of the it's a dealer that we buy and sell to all the time, and got really nice vintage stuff all the time, and we knew his table number, and it still took us
Yeah.
30-40 minutes to find his table, dude.
I know.
You know, like some of those rooms didn't really have it labeled very easily to find. At least I was having trouble finding it.
Yeah.
Um, and then like you got to find which room has those numbers first, and there's like so many. I think there was five rooms. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
anyway, so we knew his table number, and it took us a while to find him.
I think it'll be better at Cleveland next year because Cleveland's just one big rectangle.
Right, right,
Uh,
yeah,
it's a bigger room, but it's just one. So
and we are gonna have a booth at the National next
oh
year.
yeah,
That's
sick.
right. We're gonna be close to the entrance to the right. I believe it's first aisle to the right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'll put up a map of that, before the national. We're previewing this a little early here, 10,
Just a tad.
10 months out, but yeah, that'll be the first time I've ever set up at the national, sort of. I actually shared a booth one year. I don't know, 10 years ago. I had like a quarter of a booth, but
Mm.
but I barely was there. I was like walking around the whole time, and I just had
Well,
like,
we did buy a booth out for
oh,
the
that's
same
right, we bought a
day.
booth out. Yeah, I guess that counts. But we were only in the booth one day, and we weren't really. I mean, we were selling, but that wasn't really the goal.
Right. Yeah, the goal was to buy.
Yeah,
But that was pretty cool though, going to the National and then ended up selling at the
yeah,
National.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was
That was
super
at
fun.
the Chicago one, same building.
Yep. Yep.
So
But
this will be your first time officially setting up at the national, also.
oh yeah, it's both of our first time. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
so my biggest takeaway from the national was how crowded it was, and how much activity was going on. Like it had to have been the most crowded national ever, or most attended national ever would be my guess. It maybe like in the early 90s or something, but certainly since the 10 years or so that I've been going, it was the most attended, and it was the biggest by far in terms of dealers. And clearly they had more dealers who were interested, so it wasn't too big. Like it could have been bigger, I mean, in theory.
yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
had they had dealers setting up out. They had like people setting out in the hallway just to like sell cards to each other. I mean,
Right.
there was so much activity going on. So
If,
I thought that was a very good sign for the hobby.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the national definitely is a good like barometer, if you will, of the health of the industry, I would
Yeah.
say. And dude, I can't tell you how many kids that were not
Yeah.
even double digits yet come up with 4 or 5 figure cards, dude. Like just, hey, you want to buy this? Blah 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 blah. And it's like this epic card, like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, how
Yeah.
old are you? I'm like, 8. You know? Oh man, it's fun to deal with the kids. I get them come up at the Dallas show all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hey man, how much you want for that sick, Josh Allen RPA rookie?" And
Yeah.
he's like, just saying a number like, "Oh, 5 grand," and I'm like, "Okay, so what do you think it's worth?" And I'm looking it up as he's saying. He's like, 5 grand, and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, is this
okay,
a real story, or are you just sort of making
this
this
is
up?
a real story.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
real story."
Yeah.
And well, the card is fictitious, but the amount is not. Like it
Okay.
was, I can't remember the card, but it
Yeah.
was a card that was valuable, several $1,000s. And he's like, yeah, it's worth like 5 grand. I'd take 5 grand. And I'm like, okay, okay, dude, I love your card, bro, but I have to have some room to make some money,
Wait,
and
so
I'll I'll be fair with you. And he's like, yeah, no, I'll just pass. I'll get 5 grand. I'm like, okay, cool, dude, sick card. Gave him a high five. He walked off. I was like, that's incredible. He has such awesome cards.
how old do you think he was? An eight, eight, eight. He couldn't have been eight. Was he 12?
I asked him. He was 8, dude. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
8-year-old kid.
I would have. I would be very uncomfortable doing a $5,000 deal with an 8-year-old. I'd be very uncomfortable doing any deal with an 8-year-old.
I know, like,
Like
dude. I
other,
mean, I'm
yeah,
sure his parents were somewhere close by,
yeah.
but yeah, this kid was 8, man. Couldn't believe it.
Wow, crazy.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah, just this crazy card he had. I guess his dad was wealthy and just said, "Hey
Yeah.
man, see if you can get 5,000 for this card, but don't take less than 5." And he walked around with that. That's what I would guess.
Wow. That is different than when we were kids.
Yeah.
Are we the like old back when I was a kid? This is how it
Yeah.
that'd be
Look
kind
at
of,
this sick 1991 Nolan Ryan
Ben
in mint
McDonald
condition.
rookie. Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah, incredible, man. I was just like floored by this kid, man.
I mean, I remember getting my first $10 card. It was a Tony Gwynn Topps rookie. I must have been like 14 or something. That was my first card worth $10. I thought that was like a big deal.
Right. You're small time compared to this kid, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How's the Dallas show? Is it like st steady in terms of attendance?
Oh yeah. It's a very healthy show. Very healthy show. My opinion, it's the largest show in the country that's a series.
Yeah, well, right. Well, I mean, Burbank is twice a year. I think Burbank is probably bigger, but it's only twice a year. Whereas Dallas is every month, right? But every other month where they do the big one.
I think Dallas Card Show is about 700 tables.
Yeah, no, I mean,
About
I can't,
seven.
I doubt there's a bigger one that's that frequent.
Oh, I don't think there is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a big show. Yep.
I gotta get out there soon. November, maybe.
That's the plan.
Wait,
November.
September. There's one in September. Oh, you just have it. Yeah, November's the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you absolutely must come. And ironically enough, we've been friends so long, we have never, not once,
Uh,
not once, have we ever done something, hung out, where there wasn't cards involved at some level.
no, that's not true. We
Is
have.
it?
Yeah,
No?
yeah. I can think of two off the top of my head.
What is it?
Your wedding.
Okay, okay. The
Well, because
wedding.
no,
God, yeah.
no, which I know is that shouldn't count, but it does because the night before it was just the two of us for a lot of the night. We were like hanging out,
That's true. I forgot about that. That's true. Yeah, the wedding. Yep, that's right.
and then I had a birthday at my house in Irvine that you came to, and we played like the bubble soccer.
That was super fun, but I brought you a card.
Oh, did you? Okay, well, you mean
No, that doesn't really count. No, you're right. I forgot about those two. Okay,
yeah,
those two we did. You're right. You're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Okay,
Do you
so
want to tell them about the card I gave you for your birthday?
is it the? I don't even know which one you mean. Was it a 1980? Was it like the junk wax era card that had been crumpled up?
It was a 1988 score common.
Yeah,
in
like
ultra
crumpled.
poor condition.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
See,
wrote you a
less
note.
less thought went into that one than my Kurt Warner one.
I bring that to every show.
I know, I know.
Yeah, and so, but I wrote you a note too with the card. Do you remember?
I don't know. What was it? This
It
was
was,
like 10 years ago, by the way.
yeah,
Forever.
this was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something along the lines of, "Hey, Chris, you're such a good friend, and as a token of our friendship and just how valuable you are to me as a friend and partner in the industry, I wanted to give you this gift, and I really want you to enjoy this. It's from the bottom of my heart, all like heartfelt letter, and then it was this like 88 score
Yeah,
common,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Thanks.
toilet paper condition, basically, just wrinkled
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
The card,
Huh?
and the letter both had no value to me.
No value.
Yeah.
Oh man. So tell him, you should tell him what you got. I mean, I know you mentioned it once before, but it's been a while.
Yeah. So I took a Kurt Warner 2000 tops, or maybe it was 2001 tops. Uh,
I think it was 01. Yeah.
I wrote on it Chris rocks, or Chris is great. What did I write on it?
Chris Rock's on the back. Yep.
Chris rocks on the back. Crumpled it up. So and then I sent it to PSA. And as desired, it came back a PSA 1 MK. So it was in poor condition and it had a mark on it. So that was the desired result. Kurt Warner is Jeremy's favorite player. So I gave it to him, and that was his. Yeah, he has a professionally graded Kurt Warner 2001 tops by,
That's
yeah, and it's a pop
basically the
one.
worst grade
It's a
you
pop
can
one.
get.
It's a pop one with it, and it will probably always be a pop one. Jeremy will die with that being a pop one.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And I will die with that card. It probably will be buried with me because it has so much value. Unlike you valuing my card at 0,
Oh yeah, I threw that thing away.
this card, this card is priceless.
Yeah, yeah,
As was my gift to you.
yeah. All right, sure.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is awesome though. You're like, I'm shooting for a 1 MK. I don't want a 2 MK. I don't want a 1.
right. Well, you got to be careful not to make it too bad so it's authentic, right? Or they claim they can't grade it. So
Right.
I did it well. I think I folded it into quarters, so it was like a fold down the middle and a fold down across.
Yeah, you did. You sure
That sound
did. You
right?
folded it in corners. So funny. Could you imagine the PSA grader
Yeah.
going through stuff and it's like,
Well, no, and it was sent in a normal order. So they're getting like, oh, here's a Jeter SP rookie.
yeah,
Here's a Pujols tops rookie. Wait, what's this Warner doing here?
yeah. It's like, why grade this 1 MK? Whatever. On the next one,
Yeah.
Dude, oh hey, I am about to be father again. Number 3,
Yeah.
and due October 1st, and today's September 14th, so pretty
Oh,
soon.
I didn't realize it was due that soon. It's due in 2 weeks.
That soon, bro. Yep.
Yeah. All right. All right.
It's the
Yeah.
last one. I'm absolutely getting neutered after this one.
Getting neutered. Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
dude. Yeah.
yeah. All right.
But anyways, yeah, so we don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh,
We're
you
going
don't? Okay.
No, we don't. We figured this is our last one, so we decided to wait. Well, the story's kind of fun because I told her, I was like, "Hey, why don't we just not find out this time?" And my wife's eyes got real big and she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we don't have to, but I think it'd be fun. Or you can know, but just don't tell me."
Yeah.
And then and she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that either." And I was like, "Well, which one would be harder, to know and not tell me, or to not know?" And she's like, "Definitely to not know." Or well, definitely not knowing would be easier. I mean,
Okay.
so she decided to not know either.
Yeah.
And if she really wanted to know and couldn't keep it from me, I would have been okay. Sure, I'll find out. But she was down with it. She did it, and we don't know. So pretty
I
stoked.
I have one kid, and I didn't want to know. My wife had to know. There's no way she could have gone without knowing. So she knew, and I didn't. And so we went through like the baby names, and she had to pretend she didn't know. So we made a boys list and a girls list, and she pretended like she didn't know. And I made it all the way, and then with like 5 days left, somebody who I won't say, it wasn't my wife, but somebody said, "Oh, is that going to be his room?" referring to the kid, and it
Oh,
spoiled
yeah.
it for me. So I found out 5 days before he was born. It was not a big deal, but yeah, almost had the surprise.
A little bummed, right?
Yeah, a little bummed.
Yeah,
I didn't care that much, but it would have been kind of fun to have a surprise, but no.
right. Is he into cards, your boy? Is he
Uh,
not?
no, he's not. He's not. He loves. He's into whatever he like. He's at the age where he's into whatever I am. So if I'm sorting cards, he'll want to sort with me. But I don't think he appreciates the cards. But he wants to do the activity. He loves putting cards in sleeves because he sees me doing that a lot. He loves putting cards in top loaders because he sees me doing that a lot. He loves like sorting cards. But there's it's hard to have him sort cards. But I can find ways to you know have him sort cards, and he likes that if it's but yeah, the cards themselves, he's not into sports really at all.
Right. It's funny, man. So I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. My
Yeah,
6-year-old is my boy, and he's kind of interested in just stacking stuff and sorting stuff, like you said.
yeah,
But my 3-year-old daughter's like, "Daddy, I help you with cards. Help you with cards. Let me help you." Like, dude, she is all over it, man. And she's like, "Yay! Oh my gosh!"
yeah.
She'll go
Right.
through.
Yeah, I gave him my low grade 70s commons and said sort them by year, and if he drops them, that's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did the same thing, man. Yeah, just sort this. It's cheap, and if you screw it up, it's okay.
yeah, exactly.
But it's fun, man. It's good to see the kids enjoying something that we're passionate about.
For sure, man, for sure. But that's it. Sorry to sort of cut it off mid conversation, but hope everyone enjoyed and see you all again next time. Thanks, everyone.